We shall propose further cooperative efforts between all the nations in weather prediction and eventually in weather control. We shall propose further cooperative efforts between all the nations in weather prediction and eventually in weather control. We shall propose further cooperative efforts between all the nations in weather prediction and eventually in weather control.
This is a call for an uprising. Welcome to today's show. I just wanted to do an update. And again, before I do this update, I want to let everyone know I'm keeping you in my prayers. Everybody in Florida, up the East Coast, I have family there. A lot of you who listen are from there. Please be safe in regards to this storm. And do what's in your best interest. Don't think about, well, you know, my work, I gotta get back to work. Think about your family, your safety, and pray to our Father in heaven for your protection as well as the protection of others. I had to do this video because in researching and looking into Irma and the way this thing is headed, now they have increased these two other storms, which were tropical storms. Now they're calling them Category 1 hurricanes, and we know how they operate, right? They operate in threes. Now, if you're somebody who believes that this is weaponized weather, like I do, we see now with Irma is coming Jose and Katia, two other hurricanes that are all right in this area. Katia is up towards Mexico, which has the projected path of potentially hitting Texas again. Areas of Texas might not hit Houston, but right now it's a Category 1 hurricane, which means up to 75 mile per hour winds. Irma is a Category 5, which is extremely dangerous and unseen for the most part in America. I believe there's only been 3 different storms that have been Category 5 that have hit. It is very, very dangerous. And prayers also go out to the people who've already been hit by this storm out in the Caribbean, out in the tropics. But I find it not to be a coincidence that all of a sudden Jose and Katia popped up because a story came out that immediately started tagging, the mainstream media started tagging it as fake news, where people were saying that Irma was actually projected to go right back to Houston, just like Harvey a week ago. I saw a few videos on it, and obviously I'm not a meteorologist by any stretch of the imagination. Okay? I look up, I see clouds. Maybe I think it'll rain, maybe it won't. That's as far as my knowledge goes. If it's cold and it's cloudy, maybe it'll snow, maybe it'll flurry. But a lot of people who study this stuff and who are experts in this area at first were predicting that Irma was going to go into Texas and possibly devastate Houston even more following Harvey. That led to a lot of videos being made where people were 100% convinced that this was part of an agenda to destabilize this area, this region, to get these people into FEMA camps, to beat up that Houston area even worse than it's already been beaten up. When these stories came out, the mainstream media started throwing out article after article saying, don't fall for fake news reports about Irma going to Texas. So what I'm trying to say is that potentially Irma could have been heading there. And they could have seen the feedback that people had, saying, are you kidding me? Now there's another one going right towards there. What are the odds of that? What are the odds of that? Hearing people talking about weaponized weather and geoengineering, all of a sudden they come out and they go, well, these people are making up fake news. Look, it's going towards Florida. But quietly, another hurricane called Katia, however you say it, has emerged right on the Gulf down in Mexico and has a trajectory to head northwest, potentially a little bit more northeast, hitting the Texas area and possibly even hitting Houston. Nobody's really talking about it yet because it's only a Category 1. And obviously Irma is a huge, huge concern with winds that are more than double, pretty much triple of what this one is so far. But this has just been categorized as one and can obviously pick up steam. Now, Hurricane Jose is pretty much trailing behind Irma. So all of a sudden, out of nowhere, after Harvey, all of a sudden these things are coming out. And the more that I studied this year with weather warfare, because listen, a lot of my attention, a lot of my focus, like I said in previous videos, is on the things that I'm focusing on and I'm passionate about. right? So I'm not checking the weather and weaponized weather every day. I talk about geoengineering, if you follow my channel, a lot. Not all the time. It's not one of my main focuses. You guys know I focus on the occult and Satanism, exposing them and trying to protect these children and victims of SRA. But now in studying this and seeing this, I've even seen reports that came out in January and February where people were 100% talking and predicting that the plan for September was going to be weaponized weather attack on America. Now, I might do follow-up videos on it. I have to do research deeper into it. I can't just throw it up and be like, this guy was right, he predicted this. Because obviously documentation had been leaked. I don't know if it was through the CIA. I don't know what government agencies leaked this information, or somebody, the person claimed, I believe that it was from Edward Snowden. Now, we all know COINTELPRO. We know these guys Snowden. We know WikiLeaks. A lot of this stuff is fully compromised and controlled. But it's interesting that these reports were out there back at the beginning of the year about how the plan for September wasn't World War III like a lot of people were talking about. It was silent war. So you want to call this a silent war? Because that's exactly what it is. Like I've said many times, silent warfare, weaponized warfare you don't know about. It's right in front of you, but you don't even know that you're being attacked by your own government because you think it's coming from another entity. Who gets blamed? God gets blamed. Mother Nature gets blamed. But they have the ability to weaponize weather. And it's hard to believe in coincidences when you see stuff like this going on, when you see Harvey and the devastation. And now Irma, which is supposed to be worse, could potentially go from Florida all the way up the East Coast. We've seen what Sandy has done in New Jersey. Obviously, we've seen what Katrina's done. Harvey's done. And Irma is the middle wedge, if you look at this map, between these two other hurricanes. So think about that. Destruction comes through Irma up in Florida, and just say that Katia goes up, covers up the same trajectory it's on now to hit Texas and possibly hit Houston. Think about that and tell me that that's a coincidence. It says as wind speed increases, Hurricane Jose has officially transitioned from a tropical storm. The storm was named on Tuesday and became a Category 1 hurricane on Wednesday afternoon when its maximum sustained winds hit 75 miles per hour. It's currently about 1,000 miles off of a collection of islands in the Caribbean Sea. The National Hurricane Center has not issued any coastal watches as of yet. Jose was moving west at 16 miles per hour at the NHC expects what to continue over the next few days. Although forecasters are closely watching Jose, the more pressing concern is Irma. So that's why it's important to know about these other two, because if Irma goes through, which is projected to hit Florida, these other two aren't going to get as much pub or publicity because they're not going to be Category 5s. But they could be going after something, a specific target where people will go, wow, look, Hurricane Irma, look where it hit. What a coincidence, right after Hurricane Harvey. Where these smaller, lesser hurricanes, which could be created through weaponized warfare like HARP, could be going deliberately to take a spot out. Maybe they didn't finish the damage they wanted to do in Houston. Who knows? But it's something worth keeping your eye on. I'm not trying to create fear. I'm not trying to create panic. This is out there. This is information that's out there. That there's now 3 hurricanes. 3. And we know how they do things in 3. If you want to count Harvey linked in with this, that's 4. But it's not all at once. We have 3 at once that are coming up and are going to be affecting America. And this is after, during this year, many people had come forward who had said that this was the government's plan, was weaponized weather this fall. Coincidence? I don't believe in coincidences. And these people need our prayers. Hopefully God intervenes here. And I know people will say, well, this is God working. And maybe so, right? You're allowed to have your opinion on that. God is in total control. But if these people are using weaponized warfare, God is still more powerful. So we need to pray to God to protect these people from these evil, sick pups' plans. Because these people are sick. You know, Harvey's landfall was on August 25th. What is it, September 5th now? Boy, when's the last time hurricanes like this came in this type of a magnitude in America? 3 Category 5s in the history of this country. And if you look at the charts, which show the mile per hour winds in the history of hurricanes here, it's like, it's unbelievable. Harvey's already up there pretty high. This one's supposed to be higher. We know last year Florida was targeted and it didn't go according to plan. It says the peak of the hurricane season is usually around September 10th. So that's what you're going to hear. And people, of course, are not going to believe this kind of stuff. Despite the clip of John F. Kennedy talking about weaponized weather, despite the stuff I've shown you from Disney, from all these channels, all these scientists who have admitted that they can do this. CIA documentation. Operation Popeye. I mean, you want to go down the list with the geoengineering operations, all the other operations with weaponized weather that's been done, and people refuse to think their own government would do this to us. The question is, why wouldn't they do it to us? They detest us. They loathe us. They look at us as a burden. And the more that technology advances, the less need they have for us to be their slaves. They've kept us around so they can build this up. And creating all this technology, and all the idiots are like, oh, this is so wonderful. Now robots can do all this stuff. You mean and take your jobs away? Not just for your income and how you take care of your family, but take your jobs away so they literally can go, okay, now it's time to kill everybody off with all of these weapons we've created right under their noses because they've given us this power, because past generations have become spoiled and loved life, right? The baby boomers and the generations before that. Oh, you could work at a grocery store bagging groceries and you're a homeowner. Now you can't even make 150 grand and buy a house. That generation, spoiled. Here's riches, here's all this stuff. Well, they built this up, and now we're the ones dealing with it. The problem is that the people who are 20, 30 years old are so prideful and arrogant that they aren't dealing with it. They're going along with it because they're so dumbed down. I get fired up over stuff like this because these are innocent lives, and this has been their plan. Depopulation is their plan. Destruction is what they get off on. They love this stuff. Because even if they don't kill people in the path with these storms and make them sacrifices, because trust me, you don't think they count these as sacrifices? They love the fact that they destroy lives, destroy homes, break people down. These people are the sickest of the sick, and they will pay on Judgment Day. So again, keep your eye on this. Now we have it coming in threes. We have 3 hurricanes lined up here with Irma sandwiched in the middle. And of course, Irma's going to get the attention. It's a category 5. Okay, I mean, that's as serious as it gets. But keep an eye on these other 2, because they could have just created these knowing that everyone's going to focus on Irma, and originally had the plan of saying, let's just shoot Irma over to Harvey. These idiots don't know what's going on. Excuse me, not over to Houston. Saying, oh, these idiots won't say anything. They won't know what's going on. They see the pulse of people out there. They see so many people coming forward saying, weaponized weather, weaponized weather. Look at a hurricane sitting over a city for 3 days. Hurricanes don't move in this formation. And they said, all right, if we send Irma there now, people might get suspicious. Okay, so let's send Irma here, and let's create another one to just finish off the job. Nobody will say anything. We'll just call it a tropical storm that just does more damage over Texas. I mean, it's a joke. It's a joke. We need to focus on all this stuff, and we need to use it to our advantage, which is waking people up and saying, this does not happen. This is not normal. They have this technology. We know they do. And again, if you want to say, well, they wouldn't use it against us, then they should use it to steer and veer these storms off, because they've already admitted that they can do that. Keep everyone in your prayers who is in the path of this thing. God is in control. Pray to him, our Father, to protect these people, protect their homes, most importantly, protect their lives and their families and their pets. And pray for people out there to wake up already. It's a joke what these people get away with. I thank you for listening to today's show. God bless all of you. God bless everyone out there. Please be safe.